All right, everybody. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to everybody. Today is Friday, April 2nd, 2021, and this is your PTE News Break. It's so good to be with you all again. I'm so sorry I didn't bring you a show this week. I really meant to, but there was just a lot going on and I just didn't get around to it. I'm sorry, but I am going to try to bring you a show later on tonight. So if you are a night owl or if you are on a different coast where late for us is not late for you, do consider joining me. It's going to be all about, it's not the Scammer Styles show, but it's going to be about recognizing a style of scam. It's kind of hard to explain. So that's why I'm not 100% sure if I'll be going on later on tonight, but that is the goal. Okay. Welcome to everybody. Welcome to everyone in the chat. It's good to see you. Good to have you. It's always good to see you guys back. It lets me know you made it another week. And I like that. I like my folks to be survivors. All right. So we are actually starting the news break off with just kind of a shocking and tragic story. Sorry to start off so sad, but I think it's important that we talk about these things. So this is actually happening like right now. This all took place just a couple of hours ago, but a man, a 25-year-old man, rammed his car into two Capitol Police. One officer unfortunately lost his life, and the suspect was shot and passed away by the Capitol Police. So they fired on him once he drove the car into them and then exited the vehicle wielding a knife. Okay, so things are still going down at the Capitol. Okay, let's take a look at this. It says a Capitol police officer was killed Friday after a man rammed a car into two officers at a barricade outside the U.S. Capitol and then emerged wielding a knife. It was the second line of duty death this year for a department still struggling to heal from the January 6th insurrection. Video shows the driver of the crash car emerging with a knife in his hand and starting to run at the pair of officers. Capitol Police Acting Chief Yogananda Pittman told reporters. Authorities shot the suspect who died at a hospital. Says, I just ask the public to continue to keep the U.S. Capitol Police and their families in your prayers. This has been an extremely difficult time for the U.S. Capitol Police after the events of January 6th and now the events that have occurred here today. Police have identified the slain officer as William Billy Evans, an 18-year veteran who was a member of the department's first responders unit. And then I'm just going to skip a few lines, and it says law enforcement officials have identified the suspect. I'm not going to say his name. It's there on your screen, but he is 25 years old. Investigators were digging into his background and examining whether he had any mental health history as they tried to discern a motive. They were working to obtain warrants to access his online accounts, okay? And so if you hadn't seen or heard anything about this, here's one angle, but I think the pulled out angle is gives you a little bit more perspective. So here's the barricade back here kind of in the distance. And then here's the car. So it looks like he literally like gunned it full speed. Okay. So we don't know why yet. We don't know this individual's particular background, his motivations. You already know I'm drafting a character profile up on him, but some people got in trouble for that. Some high profile people got in trouble for that. A few, God, they seem to happen every day. It's hard to keep up. What was the recent one? Not Atlanta. There was another one. And someone tweeted, essentially, oh, we know what type of suspect that is. And it turned out not to be exactly. And so that person kind of got reprimanded. What was it, you guys? Was it in California? Yet another assault with a firearm? I can't remember. They're all starting to blend together. Like, that is so sad. It shouldn't be so common in our society that you A, can't remember, and B, they start to run together in your mind. That's not good. Well, anyway, I say that to say I have my own character profile drafted up, but I'll reserve my assessment until they actually come out and confirm what I already believe to be true about who this individual might be and what their motivations might be. We've talked about this recently on some recent live streams, so we'll see if I'm correct about this. But guys, all I'll say is what I keep saying, and I hope that I'm taken seriously. And I think I may have skipped it. Let me see if it's in this article. I don't know. We just read it. They were working to obtain warrants to access his online accounts. Very good. Very, very, very good. That's what you need to do. And when you start to access those online accounts, what I want you to do is start tracing them back. YouTube actually, not only YouTube, but Apple iPhones can monitor how long you've been like on an app. Like they don't do it automatically. Well, actually, I think the iPhones do. You have to turn it off. The whole purpose is to let you know, hey, you've been spending a little bit too much time on the internet or a little bit too much time on this app. So if they have phones and apps that can do that and tell you how much time YouTube does have that feature and tell you how much time you're spending, trace it back and see where this individual is spending all their mental time in terms of the videos they're watching, the comments that they're leaving, how much time they're listening, how many videos they're watching. You know what I mean? How many videos they're rewatching, their favorite recruiters, and then start to play a little game of connect the dots and see it's these people who are actually basically like glitching these people out. I'm serious, you guys. That's kind of the purpose of my show later on tonight, if I'm able to get it all together, is that it's a very subtle glitching. And it's done in a very, very subtle way. And if you're not paying attention and your mind is not fortified against that type of stuff, you will fall for it. So I kind of feel like part of my job is to help people see it. Hold on one second. Of course, my puppy got a hold of her can of food from earlier. Hold on. One day I will be able to isolate myself in a room and isolate them on a whole nother floor. I speak it and I'm going to manifest that into my life. I will be able to isolate myself either in a loft area or a basement, one or the other. And I will quarantine these three and I will have an interruption-free show. But anyway, what I was saying is they're getting glitched. Like they're glitching these people out. And people whose minds aren't strong enough to resist the glitch effort will fall for it hook, line, and sinker. So stay tuned. I do plan on doing that later, even if it's like super late. Okay. So that's what's going on at the Capitol. The Capitol, I don't think they're still under lockdown, but they were on lockdown earlier today as a result of this. They don't think there is an extended threat. They do think that this person is acting alone, but they're kind of acting alone, but also not really, you guys. And that's what I'm trying to say. The second to the last, or maybe second to the last live stream I did, I said, America, you've got a problem. And the whole premise of that live stream is they are trying to ignore this problem. They're trying to say mental health issues. They're trying to say, lone wolf, you know what I mean? And trying to ignore the fact that there are literally recruiters online, on YouTube primarily, but they have other little pockets and spots making these people this way. They're making them like this, you guys, and we're going to talk about it. So that's what's going on at the Capitol. My condolences to the family of the officer. Very unfortunate. Y'all know how I feel about people losing their lives at work. I cannot stand that. I think that is so, I feel like everyone has the right to pass this life like comfortably at home or in a hospital if that's where you got to go. You know what I mean? But surrounded by family members, surrounded by friends, not at work. Like, I just hate that so much. So much. Okay. So rest in peace to the officer. And we'll find out more about the suspect eventually. Okay. And so let's move on to our next story. And this gets into pretty much what I've been saying the whole entire time. See, this is the problem. So this actually occurred What was that? March 31st? What was that? A couple of days ago? 2 or 3 days ago? Two Capitol police officers are suing former President Donald Trump, accusing him of inciting the Capitol riot. So let's take a look at this. Two Capitol police officers, repeatedly assaulted during the Capitol siege, have sued former President Donald Trump, accusing him of inciting the riot that left 5 dead and injured more than 100 officers. James Blasingame and Sidney Hemby are seeking damages in excess of 70. Oh, honey, y'all got to jump higher than that. In excess of $75,000 each, accusing the former president of gathering and unleashing a mob that ultimately breached the Capitol after violent clashes with officers. Yeah. Trump's words and conduct leading up to and on January 6, 2021, demonstrated a willful and wanton disregard for and a reckless indifference to James Blasingame's and Sidney Hemby's safety and that of their fellow officers. His words and conduct gave direction to and aided and abetted his followers in the commission of assault, battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Okay. So I'm not going to read the rest. I will link it for you after the show. And then obviously, of course, you can always just Google the title if you want to find it now. But you see how one thing leads to the other? You can't tell me this person who didn't do what they did today is not connected to all of this in some meaningful way. You can't tell me they aren't. Of course they are. Like, let's just see. We'll see. I mean, maybe they are a lone wolf. We always have to leave that card out there. But I'm not saying they were part of this whole group or this event. What I'm saying is part of the mindset is what I'm saying. Part of the belief system, part of the motivations, part of the training is what I'm saying. Because those are very specific targets. Two Capitol police officers, then you hop out with a knife. That's very specific. So who got him riled up? You see what I mean? So part of the problem that we're facing right now in this country is that a good portion of, not a good portion, the group that's really causing this, they engage in mind games that are so subtle. The people who are on the front lines battling them have a tough time describing what's happening. All you can do is like when you first encounter it, all you can do is be like, oh my God, you're so stupid. Like that's your initial reaction. You don't know how else to describe it, but you have to describe it goes beyond them being stupid. I wish they were just stupid. It's stupid with maliciousness mixed in. It's stupid with intention though. It's willful ignorance and willful blindness is what I'm trying to say, mixed in with mind games is what I'm trying to say. And it's so freaking subtle, man, but I see it. And I suffer from writer's block, creator's block, real bad. But I think what I just need to do is just get on and just start talking. Like when I see it, just get on and just do it. And however the show comes out is how it comes out. And I have to let go of format because I feel like I have to show and illustrate these subtle little mind games these people are playing with everybody and making this particular base uniquely insane. Okay. So another one of them strikes. You see what I mean? Now another Capitol police officer is dead. You see? Now this person could have been on drugs. This person could have been, having some sort of crisis mentally. Who knows? But I would put money on they've been indoctrinated. They'll see when they start to pull up all those online records, they'll see. And at some point, the FBI is going to have to come out and say, this is a public health threat and crisis. That's what I was going to say. Their first go-to and reaction generally is, oh, that's cancel culture. You're trying to cancel us and you're trying to cancel free speech. No, they're not. But unfortunately, the people who are fighting them don't know what else to say. So I'm going to try to give you guys other things to say regarding this issue. We are not trying to cancel free speech. You can't control who cancels you because a cancellation is personal. So you really can't control that. If I decide to stop shopping at a certain store, there's nothing that store can do about that. You can't force me to shop at your store. Y'all are always trying to force people to do something that you don't actually have the authority to enforce. So anyway, they'll cry cancel culture. They'll say you're trying to block our free speech. We are not trying to block your free speech. We are trying to stop you guys from making people actively insane, because that is what you're doing. You are purposely misleading the mind in ever so slight and ever so subtle ways. And you know how trusting people are, and you know how trusting, in particular, your base is. Super trusting, super gullible, super naive, ripe to be scammed, and y'all scam them left and right all day. And I'm not saying that to some degree they don't have it coming, because they're so damn wicked, they kind of deserve to be scammed. But at the same time, there's a lot of people who are relatively innocent who end up falling for all of this stuff, y'all. Because you guys have to remember, see, most of my audience is, I think my demographics are, the bulk of my audience sits in between like 25 to like 55, meaning like I really don't have the youth yet. I haven't captured the youth. I haven't encapsulated the youth yet. The youth will be here. Don't worry. When they take a tour through life, those first couple of years, 18 through 21, they'll head over here. They'll find their way over here, surely. Because what they'll discover is a cesspool, and they'll be like, is this what the adults have been up to all this time? Oh my God. Yeah, I've been working on them, honey, but it's rough. So welcome to the youth. But I consider myself a youth as well. I'm just an upper youth. I'm like an upper class youth. Anyway, my point is, there's a lot of young people who have no idea, you guys. They have no context to this. They have no background. They were babies when this all first started happening. So if they were born like in 99, 2000, 2001, they were babies when this all first started coming into being. So unless they're really good with history, or unless they have people in their family kind of at every age level, they will have no context to any of this. And the way that a lot of us were raised is completely gone. Now, a lot of millennials do raise their children the way that we were raised, but for the most part, that spirit and that energy has left the building. So these kids are being raised in a way that I bet you if you were to ask them how they really feel about it, they know something is off, but they can't put their finger on it. So anyway, with that said, it's very easy to indoctrinate a lot of young people because they don't have anything else to like lean on. They have no context, and that's not their fault. They just got here. So anyway, I say all that to say, FBI, dear FBI, LOL, y'all need to go after the recruiters. You got recruiters, you do. And they're public, they're well known, they're widely known. They are making people more and more mentally ill every single day. And then they like to step back and pretend that it's just entertainment when someone goes and does something on their behalf. Oh, I was just playing, like Sidney Powell, the attorney, the defunct attorney, Trump attorney or whatever. Her premise now, if you go look it up, is that, oh, well, no one should have taken my claim seriously. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what her defense is now, because she's being sued left and right. Her defense is, no one should have taken me seriously in the first place. Why would you ever take me seriously? So they're confessing that what they're doing is a lie. They're engaging in active lies, but they assert them as if they are true. And it's that assertion as if it's true that's causing people to believe it's true and act on it. Okay? Don't get me started, y'all. Y'all know how I feel about this. I haven't talked about this in a long time, so I got a lot built up regarding it. Okay? So in stories that'll get this video demonetized, shout out to those of you who send me random cash apps too, by the way. Got a random cash app today, and it really warmed my spirit. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Matt Gaetz is said to face the Justice Department inquiry over, what's the word? Lord have mercy, intercourse with an underage female person. Okay. I might as well just say it because this video is not going to go, it's not going to pass the filters. So some of you may or may not remember this. Some of you have airtight memories, so you might remember me saying this. But a couple streams ago, I said, I was talking about this guy, but I didn't remember his name. And I said, he looks like a rejected Disney prince. This is who I was talking about. And tell me he doesn't. Tell me he doesn't look like a rejected Disney prince. Like he went and auditioned a couple of times and they're like, no, dude, you creep us out. Something's weird about you, man. And then so he just chose the life of politics. But this is who I was talking about, the rejected Disney prince. Doesn't he look like a rejected Disney prince? But anyway, the rejected Disney prince is now under fire, and it serves you right, sir, because this is one of the main ones that was piping up and doing all that riling up post-election and trying to get people to, oh my God, not accept the election results. Like they just simply could not believe that we did not choose Donald Trump. Still can't believe it. By the way, apparently now his date has been moved to August. So he was going to get back in on March 4th. That didn't happen. Then it got moved to March 20th. That didn't happen. So now it's actually been stretched to August. So stay tuned, guys. Okay. Anyway, Representative Matt Gaetz, Republican of Florida, and a close ally of former President Donald J. Trump, is being investigated by the Justice Department over whether he had an adult relationship with a 17-year-old and paid for her to travel with him, according to 3 people briefed on the matter. Investigators are examining whether Mr. Gaetz violated federal, I just have to read it. No, we're going to try. Federal trafficking laws, the people said. A variety of federal statutes make it illegal to induce someone under 18 to travel over state lines to engage in adult activities in exchange for money or something of value. The Justice Department regularly prosecutes such cases, and offenders often receive severe sentences. It was not clear how Mr. Gaetz met the girl, believed to be 17 at the time of encounters about 2 years ago, that investigators are scrutinizing, according to 2 of the people. The investigation was opened in the final months of the Trump administration under Attorney General William Barr, the 2 people said. Given Gaetz' national profile, senior Justice Department officials in Washington, including some appointed by Trump, were notified of the investigation. Okay, so we're not going to read the rest of this. I will link it for you later, although I'm sure you guys have seen it pretty much like everywhere. By the way, we were casually discussing something called demon brow. And I don't think I'm going to do that show because I don't want you guys looking at people's faces and going, oh, that's a demon. Oh, that's a demon, based on their eyebrows. I really don't want you guys to do that. But check these out, though. That's some strong demon brow, baby. Yikes. That's scary. Demon brow is a fictional concept not based in science or fact. Please do not judge, assess, analyze, and make life decisions based on the shape of someone's eyebrows, okay? We're just having a little fun. Okay? Just having a little fun. We have to, when dealing with people like this, you have to find a way to laugh somewhere, somehow, okay? We're just having a little fun, you guys, but man, check out them demon brow. Angry, looks mad all the time. To me, a demon brow is someone who's mad all the time, like in the shower, eating breakfast, driving the car, which understandable. Driving a car will make anybody mad. But I mean, you just got in the car, you're still in your driveway and you're mad. You just got home and you're mad. You go to sleep mad, you wake up mad. And like kind of for no reason, like there's always like a low level anger. And in that anger, they furrow their brows so much that it just gets permanent. Okay. But he's under investigation. Now, see, it wasn't too bad here. It was in progress. He must have been younger here. It was in progress, baby. Look at this hair. Tell me that's not Disney Prince. Look at that. Boy, you should have chosen a different life path, but then again, maybe not. Okay, why did I pull this one up? There was a reason. Yeah, I wanted to read this article. One of Donald Trump's loudest cheerleaders in the U.S. Congress is under federal investigation over allegations that he paid for intercourse with women recruited online. Matt Gaetz, a Republican congressman from Florida, is one of the former president's most ardent supporters and frequently appeared on TV to promote his lies about a stolen election. But the 38, y'all got to live better lives. This is not 38, okay? Live better. Eat healthier, okay? But the 38-year-old's rapid ascent is threatened by a strange, sordid, and escalating scandal that includes a report by CNN that he allegedly showed nude photos of women he slept with to colleagues on the floor of the House of Representatives. Y'all just don't know how to act anywhere. You don't know how to act. You have no home training. Who raised you? Who raised y'all? For real. I'm so serious with this question. Like, I would be afraid there'd be cameras absolutely everywhere. Hidden cameras, visible cameras. You know what I mean? Like cameras on the ceiling. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, you can't just wait till you get home, invite them over for some beers. If it has to be like that, you just have to do it on the house floor. Okay. I told you guys, they just keep going and going and going and pushing that limit and pushing that barrier till they finally meet their wall. The crisis for Gaetz began this week when it was reported that the Justice Department is investigating claims that he had a relationship with an underage girl and paid her to travel with him, potentially breaking interstate trafficking laws. He denied the allegation and sought to deflect it by suggesting that he and his father are the victims of an organized crime extortion. But then there was a further twist when it was reported that scrutiny of Gaetz stems from a separate Justice Department investigation into one of his allies, Florida politician Joel Greenberg, who was indicted last summer on trafficking and other charges that he stalked a political opponent. What is wrong with you people? It's just never good enough for you. Life is never good enough. You have to go out here and stalk your political opponents because you're so bored. That's how bored you are. That's how I know you don't have anything going on in your life that you're dealing with, that you're particularly worried about. Most of your problems are solved with the money that you have and the resource and the little bit of power and access that you have. So you have no real worldly worries. So what do you do with your free time? You don't go build something that would help the community. You don't help somebody out. You don't go feed the homeless or build a habitat for humanity. You don't invent anything. You don't improve on anything. What do? You go stalk your colleagues. That's what you do. You stalk your political opponent. That's what you do. Okay? I can't with you people. That's why y'all are falling apart at the seams right now. Like, it was only going to last but for so long. You should blame your parents because your parents should have seen this coming, but your parents thought it was going to go on forever too. Anyway, Greenberg was involved with multiple women who were recruited online for intercourse and received cash payments. He initially met the women through websites that connect people who go on dates in exchange for gifts, fine dining. Oh, I love how y'all framed that. You see how they framed that? They met through websites that connect people who go on dates and exchange for things like gifts and fine dining and travel and allowances. So an escort service. Okay. Let's see here. Blah, blah, blah. Listen, I'm not reading all of this. It's tawdry. It's lewd. It's scandalous. I'll link it for you. And I have a feeling that this is not the last that we're going to hear of this honey, because he seems like a snitch and he seems like he is going to take down and take out every single person. Like, if he has to go down and y'all are going to put him in jail with those people, oh, he's taking some homies down with him. Some of his frat brothers going down with him. You better believe that. And some politicians are going to go down too. So he might actually be the linchpin or the lead domino. We could think of this guy. All right. So anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. It's good to have you. Happy Friday. Let's move on. Whew. I almost did a whole entire show on this, but I just decided I didn't want it in my spirit. I really didn't want it like to live on my channel like that. I didn't want to talk about it that much because this has literally bothered me since the whole news and everything of it broke. Okay, so I am sure most of you, if not all of you, have heard about this whole situation, controversy surrounding Lil Nas X and his Satan shoes. For those who have been living under a rock, or perhaps you were stuck on the Ever Given in the Suez Canal, used to be popular musician, United States artist, known for Old Town Road, won all kinds of awards for it, you know. And then gained secondary notoriety when he came out with his sexuality, you know, and society was very supportive of that, which is awesome. And so really he had kind of built up this like wholesome image for the world, I guess you could say. And apparently, and I didn't know this until all this came out, but apparently, like one of his key demographics was people under the age of 18. Oh, I'm already in trouble for this stream. One of his key demographics was children, kids. Loved him. And y'all know how my memory is. This is part of the reason we do news breaks. It's for my memory's sake. So I can go back a year from now and be like, oh yeah. But anyway, thinking back now, I do remember when that song first came out, like you would see like videos all over the place of like teachers welcoming their students back to school by doing like a remix of the song. Like, I'm going to take my notebook to the class. I'm going to grab my pencil and my hall pass. You know what I mean? Like little things like that. It was cute. You know, people loved it, whatever. Then he turns around and rewards everybody for their support of him. I was never personally a fan. I just, you know, I think I'm an audiophile, you guys. If I understand that definition to be correct, I might be thinking of it wrong, but to me, an audiophile is someone who is so sensitive about sound that like, I won't listen to it if the sound is bad. And I'm not saying that's a bad song. Like it was cute, you know, the bass is good, but there was nothing about it that made me go, oh, there's some musical genius here. Let me follow up, you know? And perhaps that's, you know, not a good quality, because how can you really judge an artist if you don't listen to all of their work, right? I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm just saying Old Town Road was cute. It bopped, but it didn't make me want to go learn more. Okay. So anyway, he turns around and rewards everyone for their love and support by endorsing a pair of shoes called Satan shoes and releasing a subsequent music video where he essentially worships, gives glory and honor unto Satan. Dances for him, dances on him, twerks on him. No, I haven't seen the video. All I've seen are like the clips that everyone else shows. So if you're watching a video about it, then they show a clip. But I have not sat down and watched it in its entirety, and I will not. And I cannot tell you guys how freaking sad this makes me, man. It's sad. You know why I think I'm sad about it? Because I think we finally reached the bottom. We've been on a downward spiral for quite some time. But I feel like we finally actually reached the bottom, y'all. I think this is it. I think this is where we've been headed the whole time. This is what they've been tap dancing around. Could never really say it explicitly, could never really come right out and say it. But I think this is what they've really been wanting to do the whole time. And so they've just gradually kind of gently been pushing it here and there till they finally just said, you know what? Mask off. Mask off. We worship Satan. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is what we're about. This is our lifestyle. And, you know, it's just so sad. It's like, wow, you know, you give selling out a whole new name. Like you take You took, hold on, let me get your whole face on here so I can really address you. You took selling out to a whole new level, like levels I didn't even think that were available. You know what I mean? Like those of you who play video games, this is going to be a horrible analogy, I know, because listen, I stopped at Super Nintendo, okay? But aren't there like levels you can access in a video game and like secret little levels that you can like unlock with like little rewards or points, or like if you know like a cheat code, you can unlock like a hidden level you didn't even know was there, and it's like, oh my God, this is so fun, something like that. Well, he unlocked like the cheat code to like selling out. Like I didn't know there was a cheat code to selling out. He unlocked it. And I'm like, why, son? Why? Why would you do this? Like, there's no going back from this, honey. Why would you do this? It's not worth it. Like, and here's the whole thing about it, because I know a lot of people claim to be atheist, but to make something like this, you have to believe in God. Do you understand? For you to make basically a devil worshiping video, you have to believe in God. You have to. You kind of do. In order to go to the complete opposite and go out of your way to thumb your nose up, spite the Lord, the Most High God, are you nuts? So I know you believe. You definitely believe because you went out of your way to prove your disbelief. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So you're in a fallen state. Everyone in support of this, y'all are in a fallen state. I'm worried for you. I'm scared for you. I'm scared for all of us at this point. For this to go down, for this to go on, guarantee he wins another award of some kind next year. We're going to continue to elevate and celebrate this. And so some would come back and argue, well, PTE though, well, everyone doesn't believe in God. So isn't it just as outrageous to like push like a religious theme, in our faces? And, when everyone doesn't necessarily believe in God, I would say that you probably have some sort of argument there. You know what I mean? But it's not just that you don't believe in God. It's everything that the devil represents. Everything. You know what I mean? Like that comes with the devil, all the baggage. It's not like you're saying that. It's not like he was worshiping a planet. You see what I mean? It's not like he had like a caricature of Jupiter and was twerking on Jupiter. You know what I mean? And like doing sun and solar worship, like, okay, you know what I mean? But to go out of your way to worship a specific entity, it gives me chills. Like it creeps me out, man. It does. Like, and then the shoes. Let's talk about the shoes. Let's talk about these shoes. So I'm not going to show them and it's funny because a lot of news articles won't show them either because they didn't see. They won't even show them. Like, we don't want nothing to do with this, man. I didn't even want to talk about it, but I was like, you know what? Let me just go on record against this, not for your lack of belief in God. You have a right to not believe or believe in anything you want to, but to so publicly sell your soul on the open market and encourage people to come with you. Oh, honey, I'm worried. I'm worried for you. Can I pause this? Boom. Let's talk about the reason I wanted to show you this article in the first place, which is Nike wins a temporary restraining order against Lil Nas X and I guess that's pronounced Mischief's Satan shoes. Okay. It says the brand was ordered not to send out I don't even want to say that. The brand was ordered not to send out the sneakers, but all but one of them have already shipped. So they just went ahead and did whatever they wanted to do. So what's happening there is Nike didn't endorse this. Nike wants you, listen, Nike don't want no parts of this, okay? Nike wants to go on record saying, oh no, we did not endorse this. So Nike, now you just have to flat out sue them, honey. You have to sue them for every dime they made off the shoes. Put your money where your mouth is. You better separate yourself far and wide from this Nike because their check is sure on the side of them. But anyway, Nike won its first victory in court against Lil Nas X and Mischief's unauthorized Satan shoes this week, but it's unclear of how big an effect that ruling will actually have. Following the release of the rapper's video, Montero, Call Me By Your Name, and a Brooklyn collective Mischief, a group known for reappropriating high-end fashion items to create limited edition art, announced they would be releasing a specified number of modified Nike Air Max sneakers, complete with a pentagram. Y'all went and put a scripture on the side, Luke 10:18 embroidery, which I think it says, and I saw Satan fall from heaven in a flash of lightning. And the creepiest and most unnerving part of this whole thing, a drop of human blood infused into the soul of it. Y'all are disgusting. Y'all are gross, man. Like y'all are. The $1,000, $18 shoes, $1,000, $18. The $1,018 shoes sold out in a matter of minutes on Monday, prompting Nike to file a lawsuit against the maker over trademark infringement as they were produced without Nike's approval or authorization. And Nike is in no way connected to this project. And then on Thursday, a judge sided with the sportswear giant, issuing a temporary restraining order against the unofficial Nike sneakers, okay? Y'all, because people have been hitting up Nike saying, we will boycott you forever. We will never buy your shoes again. And here's the unfortunate reality of it all. The unfortunate reality is, and I believe Nike, and y'all know me, I'm very skeptical most of the time, but I believe Nike. I don't think Nike would be this stupid. Nike wouldn't throw their brand away like this. They wouldn't do that. But the unfortunate reality is the damage is already done. Because there are going to be some people who do believe Nike had something to do with it in spite of what they say. And now their check mark is permanently on Satan shoes. Whew. You put in your feet. Do you realize how symbolic that is? How symbolic it is to put Satan's shoes on your feet. How very symbolic. Then you got the nerve to put the pentagram on there. Then you have a specific number printed on the side of it. Then you went and took a scripture. Like, why do y'all like to tempt God? Why? Why do y'all like to tempt God? Why? Why? Because you don't believe, but you do. You do, but you don't. It's so funny. Like, you mock God, you openly tempt God, but on one level you don't believe, but on another level you do. Whew. And then to me, I'm kind of like, and then the blood in the soul, and then you put that soul on your foot. I feel like you're taking like a blood oath of some kind. And this is a sidebar, but from a health standpoint, is that hygienic and sanitary to be shipping non-biomedical human blood just to random consumers? You don't know whose blood it is, where it came from. And that's also what bothers me. They claim that it came from the employees of this company. I don't believe you. I don't. I wish I did, but I don't. So where did you get this blood from? How do we know this blood is not contaminated in some way? What if the shoe gets damaged and the blood leaks out of it? Even though it's allegedly just a drop, I don't care. Things are microscopic, can't be seen with the human eye. All it takes is like less than a drop, like a pinhead. Don't get me started, you guys. And we're in the middle of a pandemic. So you're letting people ship human blood in the middle of a pandemic? I find so many issues with this. But the biggest issue I find, among others, is that he allowed himself to be utilized in this way. He allowed himself to be utilized for this purpose. And I just think that is so sad, because he really could have taken his little career and done, pretty big things with it. He's pretty marketable in today's society. Not anymore, honey. Like, honey, a lot of people don't play about this kind of stuff. Like even the most, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Like, there's convicts sitting on death row who don't play about this kind of stuff. You see what I mean? So anyway, that's that. So creepy, so weird. Can't believe you would do this, Lil Nas. That's very, very sad. I wish I knew his real name. What's his real name? Hold on. Let me look this up real quick. One sec. What is Lil Nas? There we go. Oh, his name is Montero. Montero, I am so disappointed in you. I cannot believe you would allow yourself to be used in this way. And I feel like this is a door, honey, that there's no going back through this door. I think you declared your position, you declared your stance, and I think that's really, really sad. So I wish you luck out here. Good luck. May God have mercy on your soul, honey. That's all I can say. Let's move on to some lighter topics. Let's move on. More celebrity news. So I heard about this, and I don't actually know this person. I don't follow the series. I really only heard of her like today or whenever I heard of the story. Never really heard of this person before, okay? But some of you may have, and some of you may watch this show. Jen Shah of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City was arrested and accused of wire fraud. The reality TV star, who the New York police commissioner said allegedly targeted and defrauded hundreds of victims, could face prison if convicted. More scammers, allegedly. Nerd says she's going to prison. Is she? Listen, I wish I had some background. I literally am only going off everything that's coming out, but it sounds like it, doesn't it? Jen Shah, a star of the Bravo reality television show Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, was arrested and charged with conspiracy related to allegations of wire fraud and a telemarketing scheme, federal prosecutors said Tuesday. In a statement announcing charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering, the Justice Department alleged that Shah, 47 of Park City, Utah, and her first assistant, Stuart Smith, 43 of Lehi, Utah, generated and sold lead lists of innocent individuals for other members of their scheme to repeatedly scam. In the indictment unsealed Tuesday, the Justice Department alleges that between 2012 and 2021, Shah and Stewart conspired to defraud older and computer illiterate people by operating a multi-state telemarketing and in-person sales teams that would sell essentially non-existent services, and fight consumer efforts to obtain refunds. In actual reality, and as alleged, the so-called business opportunities pushed on the victims by Shah, Smith, and their co-conspirators were just fraudulent schemes motivated by greed to steal victims' money. Now these defendants face time in prison for their alleged crimes. Homeland Security Investigation Special Agent in Charge Peter C. Fitzhugh said that Shah and Smith flaunted their lavish lifestyle to the public as a symbol of their success, but that they allegedly built their opulent lifestyle at the expense of vulnerable, often elderly working class people. Oh, y'all going to jail, and you deserve to. Yep. In the statement, New York Commissioner Dermot Shea said the pair targeted and defrauded hundreds of victims, but thanks to the hard work of the NYPD and law enforcement partners, this illegal scheme was brought to an end. Representatives for Shah declined to comment, and Smith did not immediately respond to requests for comment. So it looks like I need to do scammer styles more and more, even though I feel like I don't want to lead you guys into thinking just because someone speaks a certain way, they're a scammer, because that's how people are. Like, oh, they're talking fast, they must be a scammer. And they might be, they probably are, but not necessarily. Some people just talk fast. You know what I mean? So I have to make sure if I do that, I offer you the balance so you guys are able to discern properly. But it looks like we need to talk about scammer styles, you guys. And the show that I'm thinking about doing later deals with exactly this. The issue I'm having is just the framing of it. So anyway, don't get distracted, PTE. But anyway, the reason I'm going to do that show is I'm concerned that a similar style is being used that's going to lead people to similar results, basically. And I recognize these people like immediately. And I'm like, how do other people not see it? And again, I don't know her, so I can't say, oh, I knew she was defrauding people. I just found out this woman existed. But if I were to hear her pitch, like if one of her salespeople were to call me, I would immediately know it's a scam. Like immediately. Like there's tells, there's very distinct characteristics and traits. But what I'm learning is everyone doesn't see it, you guys. Everyone doesn't see it. They don't recognize it. I'm not sure why that is, but I want to help you guys start to be able to at least give you pause. You know what I mean? But here's one other thing that really bothers me about this stuff. It's people with opportunity that always end up doing this kind of stuff. And I don't get it. Like, I don't know if they picked her to be on this show because she was already so-called rich, or if they picked her because they just liked her personality. You see what I mean? But either way, you get an opportunity to be on a very popular TV show. They pay you for it. You can convert that into like a long-term career like many of the housewives have. And if you were scamming before, it's a great opportunity to stop. You know what I mean? You finally went legit. But instead, it's like, I don't get people who waste these amazing opportunities. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand why more celebrities don't just go tuck away. And what I mean by that is they come out, they do their job, be that acting, singing, hosting, whatever it is, and then they literally tuck away into their mansion and you don't see or hear from them again until their next gig. Like, that's what I would do. Literally, y'all would catch me out at booked events, and that's pretty much it. You'll rarely see me at the grocery store. Like, you'll rarely see me. I'll be tucked away. I don't understand how these people get themselves in all this mess, but I guess you just get caught up. And I think that money starts to make you feel invincible. You know what I mean? So anyway, we'll be watching this one to see what happens, see if she actually ends up in jail. But if you're defrauding old people, people don't like that. They don't like it when you defraud old folks. And see, oh God, maybe I should just save that for the other show. All I was going to say is a lot of older people are prone to being defrauded because a lot of them, if I had to estimate, won't listen to anybody. Like if you were like, hey, mom, or hey, dad, or hey, grandma, hey, grandpa, listen, I think that person is trying to take advantage of you. It's like, don't tell me what to do. I'm older than you. You know what I mean? I was here, 30, 40 years before you were, 50 years before you were. I can recognize a scam. And it's like, yeah, but these are modern day scams. Could that be part of it? Like the obstinance to new information that could teach you the new scams. You know what I mean? Anyway, not to get you guys' hopes up, but the lawmakers are talking about sending you a fourth stimmy. They're talking about it. Conversations are being had. Says many Americans have been wondering whether there will be a fourth round of stimulus checks as the federal government continues to distribute the $1,400 provided in Joe Biden's rescue plan. So far, 64 congressional lawmakers have pushed for recurring direct payments until the pandemic ends. Yes, do that. In January, 2 months before Biden signed the latest stimulus package into law, 53 House Democrats pressed Biden and VP Kamala Harris for recurring stimulus checks in a letter where they insisted that one more check is not enough. It's not. It never has been. Y'all love trying to like plug a massive hole with like a little tiny stopper. Let's see here. It's very encouraging to see the inclusion of direct cash assistance in your current economic rescue plan. However, it is clear that during this unprecedented time in our nation's history, we must take additional unprecedented action, okay? So just know that it's happening. The conversations are being had. I already told you my personal prediction. I don't think we'll see another dime, but stranger things have happened, you guys, okay? For example, they just canceled all the student loan debt for individuals living with disabilities. And I think that's great. I think that's amazing. I think that's awesome. Because if you really think about it, Repayment is made on the basis of the assumption that everyone has equal opportunity to repay you. And does everyone have an equal opportunity to repay you? No. Don't get me started. That's going to make me revitalize pettynomics. But you issue out these loans and then expect repayment at the same terms, which we would call fair, right? You know, hey, I'm not going to charge you more or less, not going to charge you more or less, going to charge everyone the same. But the truth of the matter is everyone does not have an equal opportunity to repay you at the same rate. Don't get me started, you guys. But anyway, you might see some more money, but I highly doubt it. So I hope you managed your 1400 well. I hope you did smart things with it. Hold on to it. Cling on. But they're talking about it. We shall see. It all rides on this vaccine, man. I was thinking about that earlier today. I was like, wow, this vaccine has to work. That's not good. Oh, you miss Pettynomics? I might have to revive her because I still have more to say. But it's not good that everything is riding on the vaccine, you guys. It's great that we have one. No, I won't be taking one. No, I won't go into the reasons because I want to stay on the right side of baby algo. Okay. Might do it on my other channel, but I probably won't because people have been getting their heads knocked off for it. Just know I won't be. Okay. And on a separate but related thought, I was just thinking like, man, like this has to work. If it doesn't, like, then what do we do? So I don't like it when we only have one way out. I don't like that. I don't like only having one exit. I like having multiple exits. And it appears that we only have one exit. It's almost like we are stranded on an island somewhere, right? And people found us, but all they can send over is like a little raft for like 20 people, and they can only send one, and we all have to get on. So it's kind of like, okay, guys, we got to get on this raft, but like literally this raft has to carry us like 10 miles upstream. So it has to work. We don't have any other option but this raft. So literally it has to work. Okay. So, see, a lot of y'all want me to speak on it. I might have to find a way to do it in like a coded way. I'm not going to give you medical misinformation. The only thing I'd be giving you is just my feelings and like why I don't plan on it. Because they are numerous. I have my reasons. But congratulations to those of you who have gotten it. I am happy for you. And from the very beginning, I've said, do what's going to work out best for you, your body, your health, and your family. I've said that from the very beginning. And I've also always said no judgment either way. If you get it, no judgment. If you don't get it, no judgment. Not going to hear any judgment from me. But if you're ever sitting around in your living room wondering, I wonder if PTE got her vaccine appointment, you can rest assured and rest at ease. The answer is no. Okay, let's move on. So in proper protest news, the 2021 All-Star Game draft. What's a game draft? Oh, I guess when they're drafting the players, has been moved from Atlanta, essentially in protest to the new voter suppression laws. Good job, you guys. Good job. Major League Baseball announced on Friday that it will relocate the 2021 All-Star Game and MLB Draft, originally scheduled to take place in Atlanta, to a to-be-determined location. The decision comes a little more than a week after the passage of SB 202, a Georgia law that President Joe Biden criticized earlier this week, saying that it will restrict voting access for residents of the state. Commissioner Rob Manfred said in a statement that the decision to move the All-Star Game was the best way to demonstrate our values as a sport, and was made after consultation with teams, former and current players, the MLB Players Association, and the Players Alliance, among others. Major League Baseball fundamentally supports voting rights for all Americans and opposes restrictions to the ballot box. In 2020, MLB became the first professional sports league to join the nonpartisan Civic Alliance, to help build a future in which everyone participates in shaping the United States. We proudly used our platform to encourage baseball fans and communities throughout our country to perform their civic duty and actively participate in the voting process. Fair access to voting continues to have our game's unwavering support. Nice. Though the game will no longer take place in Atlanta, the 2021 Midsummer Classic will still celebrate the memory of the late Hank Aaron, an Atlanta icon who passed away on January 22nd. Major League Baseball will also move forward with planned investments to support local communities in Atlanta as part of the All-Star Legacy projects. We are finalizing a new host city, and details about these events will be announced shortly. I absolutely love it, guys. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest. I'll link it for you. This is what I call a protest. Now, this is a protest. It's like, oh, okay, you want to suppress, one of the communities that really, really enjoys our game, and we bring our game there, our business and all this and that. And, a lot of the people who work at the stadium, I'm sure, are going to be affected by some of the voter laws that were passed. And you want to oppress our people? We will snatch this whole game out of here. And they did. And I love it. Good job, Major League Baseball. I don't watch, but I just might start. I just might start watching. I just might start watching baseball just for this, just to show my support. And I might buy something, Now, I'm not going out there because I find the stadiums to be absolutely filthy and disgusting. But if you ever fix that, I might actually go enjoy some popcorn and in a ball game just to show my support. Nice. Nice. Your decisions have consequences. You want to try to block people from voting in any little petty way that you can find. Y'all are pitiful and pathetic. You really are. But the one thing you are doing is showing that voting is real. And I like that because I think a lot of people have their doubts, I even have mine. I'm like, okay, I just cast my vote. I don't know what happens next, But the fact that y'all will go out of your way to make it harder for people to cast their vote in Georgia or anywhere for that matter tells me that voting is real. It has to be. Otherwise, you guys wouldn't care. You wouldn't be putting forth all this effort. You wouldn't be doing all of this. So, you're very petty. You're quite demonic. All of this is accounting toward your karma, and prepare for the workaround. Never underestimate the workaround, honey. Because the one thing you guys are not very good at is looking at accounting for and planning for your loopholes. You're not good at that. You suck at that. So prepare for the workaround. And I think the workarounds are going to be absolutely hysterical. So for example, one of the laws that got passed was that you can't give food and like water and drinks and stuff to people standing in line. And at first I didn't even understand like why it would even be an issue. It's like, that doesn't affect how people vote. But then I understood when they're closing polling locations and forcing people to all kind of descend on one polling location, that increases the length of time they're going to be in line. Now, when people show up thinking I'm going to be here 10 minutes, 15 minutes max, and they end up standing there for 3 hours, a lot of times when people leave to go get food, they're like, man, I'm not getting back in that line. I'm not going back. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. So people would come, I guess, give them food and water to basically say, please don't leave, stay. Like stay, cast your vote, don't give up, stay. You know what I mean? So if they're making the lines longer on purpose, increasing the length of time on purpose, then making it to where volunteers can't pass out snacks and things. You see what I mean? Like you are so petty. I wish you all could find a way to focus your energies into something that actually mattered. Something that would even benefit your own life. Like imagine if you all took some of this petty, hate-filled energy and focused it into like cleaning up your cities, fixing your streets. You know what I mean? Doing something about the things that you hate so much, but no, this is where you divert your energy. And that's how I know you don't have any real problems in life. All your problems have been solved by the money that you've extracted over the years. So now you think of creative ways to make it harder for people to vote, and you claim you so-called evangelical Christians, wow. Y'all don't believe. There's no way you do. You do, but you don't, but you do, but you don't. Let's move on, guys. A couple more stories and we'll get out of here for the evening. Welcome to everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. All right, let's do a quick update on this Derek Chauvin trial. This is not a good font for the internet. Friday's proceedings in the trial of Derek Chauvin ended with critical testimony from the longest serving officer in the Minneapolis Police Department, who testified that Mr. Chauvin's actions were totally unnecessary. Police testimony against Mr. Chauvin, the former officer charged with killing George Floyd, could be crucial to the prosecution's case as they move into next week. Friday's proceedings ended early because the trial is ahead of schedule, the judge said. And here are the highlights. We're not going to read all this because, as you can see, it's quite lengthy. We will read this one. Additional testimony from police officers will be an important tool for prosecutors who are seeking to show that Mr. Chauvin violated use of force policies and that his actions were unnecessary and unlawful. Eric J. Nelson, Mr. Chauvin's defense attorney, used his cross-examination of Lieutenant Zimmerman to temper those ideas. Mr. Nelson asked the lieutenant whether people can become combative after waking up from being unconscious. Lieutenant Zimmerman also said police officers are trained to kneel on people's shoulders in some circumstances when they handcuff a person. Throughout the trial, Mr. Nelson has suggested that Mr. Chauvin's knee was on Mr. Floyd's back or shoulder, not his neck. Okay, so here are my thoughts on this, you guys. I have thoughts, then I have extended thoughts, and I'll just have to save those for my other channel. But I like to kind of like be honest with you guys. Again, I am the eternal optimist, but my optimism is based out of reality. And I don't think this is going to go the way you guys want it to. Okay. And I'll tell you why. The prosecution is being too dramatic. And what I mean by that is they're trying to, I don't think they're charging him with first-degree murder. Let me see what charges he has. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. What charges is Derek? Let's see. Second degree unintentional murder, third degree murder, and second degree manslaughter charges. Y'all, I don't know if y'all are going to get that, man, because so much of that has to do with intent. Now, obviously, unintentional has intent built right into it, like he clearly didn't mean to. But when I see the little clips and highlights from the trial, it appears that they're trying to appeal to the horror of it all, which it is horrific. Don't get me wrong. It's horrible. But you have to understand that horror and legalities are two different things. Like, I think what they need to appeal to is less trying to paint this dramatic made for TV case and more trying to paint this individual's ego was out of control. And as a result of an out of control ego, and as a result of a power trip, essentially, a man lost his life. But they're trying to like dramatize it to get an emotional effect out of the jurors. And you're supposed to, but I don't think you're going to win with that angle. I really, really don't. Like, they've been up there crying, and it's sad. Like, of course it's sad. Like, they watched a man die right in front of their face and they were helpless to do anything about it. Like, that's traumatic. That's sad. They probably need therapy and counseling and everything. I'm not discounting how sad it was, but if I was that attorney, I would say, I don't think we're going to win on this angle, you guys. You have to show that the reason, here's what I'm basically saying. The reason Derek Chauvin needs to be punished is not because it was such a horrific thing. It's because it's to demonstrate that you should never let your ego and power tripping and whatever's going in your mind get the best of you to the extent where you don't stop when stop is necessary and a man or a person loses their life. That's what the punishment needs to be for. But I'm telling you guys, if they keep watching, if they keep taking this angle, it's not going to work. I'm telling you. And it's not me. Like listen, I want the same things that you want. Okay. But I also want the same things that you want. And this is me saying, if they continue this angle, they're not going to get the result that they want. If they took it from like a power trip, ego, maniacal, out of control cop who apparently has killed like how many? Hold on 1 second. How many people has Derek Chauvin killed? It's like in his career. What did I read earlier? Maybe I read it wrong. I think I read it wrong. Okay, and I don't want to say anything incorrect, but it does say he has 18 complaints on his official record. And he's been involved with 3 police shootings, one of which was fatal. But I could have sworn I read something different earlier, but maybe not, because that would be all over the news. But 18 complaints minimum, okay? That's the issue. Because I really believe, you guys, that's what happened. Like, it became a situation where he was like, I'm not going to lose in front of all these people. I'm definitely not going to lose to the suspect, the deceased. I'm not going to lose to this crowd. I'm not going to lose to anyone in the crowd antagonizing me. You know what I mean? Because in his mind, if he had gotten up when they wanted him to, that's them punking him. They punked him in his mind. I'm not saying they punked him for real. I'm saying in his mind, you know, what's the point of being a police officer if everyone else tells you what to do? That's what I'm trying to say, you guys. That was the issue. I don't believe this man just kneeled on his neck because he was a black man. I don't believe that. And that's the case that's being painted. And if that's the angle you take, you're going to lose. I'm telling you, you're going to lose. I'm not saying that the man is or isn't racist. You know, I'd roll the dice. What I'm saying is you had someone whose logic was basically, what is the point of being a police officer if the crowd can come along and tell me what to do? I make the decisions around here. I make the calls around here. I decide when I get up, not you. I'll stay here all day if I want to. I'm the authority here, not you. You don't tell me what to do. Back off. And as a result, a man lost his life. That's the angle you need to take. Otherwise, you're going to lose. You're going to be mad. And the whole country is going to go up in an uproar. That I'm telling y'all, don't go down the rabbit. Don't go down the rabbit hole. Just all I'm saying is don't take the bait, you guys. Don't take the bait. It's summertime. They got to get y'all active for the summer. It's been a cold winter. Summertime, things been slow. Pandemic slowed everything down. Time to get y'all riled back up. Summertime's upon us. Don't take the bait. All right. So that's the latest and greatest on that. So let's move on to our next story. Welcome to everybody in the chat. It's good to see you guys. I'm glad you guys are all doing well. Now, I think this is kind of messed up, y'all. So first of all, I don't know what this is. Video started auto playing and y'all can just ignore this. It's not part of the story, but Ever Given crew, the Ever Given was the boat that was sitting sideways in the Suez Canal last week, may reportedly face house arrest over the whole incident. Now, how messed up is that? You get stuck on a boat in the middle of the Suez Canal for days, and then you come out to get greeted with potential house arrest. That is so messed up. The Indian crew of the gigantic container ship that was freed after running aground in the Suez Canal may be placed under house arrest and also could face criminal charges for the mishap, according to a report. That's so messed up. The Indian, it doesn't even look real. Look at that. It's like so pretty and like so like colorful. Like it doesn't even look real, but it is. Look at the beach. Look at, it's so white. Like, why do I want to go like chill on the banks of the Suez Canal now? But anyway, and just watch the boats go by. Can we do that? Is that a thing? Indian government and seafarers groups are concerned about how the Suez Canal Authority will treat the 25 crew members after the 1,300-foot long Ever Given was wrenched free Monday, nearly a week after it became lodged. Sources in the shipping industry told the news outlet that the crew could be banned from traveling further and also may ultimately be criminally charged for the mishap. That's so messed up. There is a clear danger that the crew will be made scapegoats. Captain Sanjay Prashar, a member of the National Shipping Board, told the news outlet. That is so messed up. Your employer turn around and make you the scapegoat for the incident. Y'all, look at the sand. It looks like clay. It doesn't even look real. Wow. Focus, girl. Focus. First, it has to be ascertained as to how the giant ship ran aground. Facts can be checked by examining and listening to conversation in the ship voyage data recorder, and one can come to an understanding as to what caused the mishap. It says all the ship's crew members are identified, safe, and accounted for. They remain in good health. And then it also said that the hard work and tireless professionalism of the master and crew were greatly appreciated. Okay. Yeah, appreciated so much you're going to put them on house arrest. So I don't think this will happen. It's actually kind of caused like a bit of an international uproar. Like, don't do that to those people unless they did it on purpose, which why? I mean, humans are weird. Humans do strange things all the time, but these people make a lot of money. Merchant seamen, that's what they're called, right? Merchant seamen make a lot of money. And unless somebody came through with an offer more than what they already make, I don't see them purposely running their boat aground simply to, mess with international shipping. Because there was no guarantee they were going to get that thing out of there. But they did get it out, for anyone wondering. So everything has resumed, but, things they're not cars. Like, they're not cars that can just like pick up and just like start going again. Like, they have to kind of pick it up and get going. They had about 300 boats waiting. So you got 300 big boats that have to all kind of come up to speed. They're all behind schedule. So this should be interesting, you guys. But we'll see what happens. I hope they don't put those people in jail. That's so messed up. That's so messed up. But in positive news, like everyone is okay. Like normally things like this don't have the happiest of endings, but every human being is okay. So I think that that's a good thing. Okay. And it says the ship's Japanese owner said it has not received any claims or lawsuits yet. Stay tuned, honey. I'm sure they're on the way. I'm sure they're en route. All right. So there's that. That's the latest on our little boat. That is kind of weird, though, when you think about it. Like, how did y'all end up? They said it was the wind, but then I think they ruled the wind out and said it was operator error. So how did y'all end up sideways like that? So weird. And I have done more research on tugboats in the last few days than is even reasonable or necessary. I just wanted to know. I was like, how do these itsy bitsy little boats help ever? But apparently they have very, very powerful motors in them for their size. So that's how they're able to push. But anyway, let's move on. So, okay, in our COVID update. All right. Now the CDC is warning of impending doom if we relax the guidelines too soon. And it's not that I don't agree. It's that you guys have got to consolidate your message and come out with a clear, concise, singular message. Okay, let's see what she has to say. All right, because you just got through telling us that the kids can go back to school with 3 feet of social distance. You just got through telling us that. Now you're saying that you feel like there's an impending doom. Well, what is it? Which one is it?
I'm going to reflect on the recurring feeling I have of impending doom.
Here we go. Y'all know how I feel about these things here.
Please, this is not politics. Reinstate the mandate if you let it down. And business should require masks as well. The failure to take this virus seriously, precisely what got us to this mess in the first place. Now's not the time to let down. Now's not the time to celebrate. It is time to do what we do best as a country. Our duty, our jobs, take care of one another, and fight this to the finish.
I'm going to reflect on the recurring feeling I have of impending doom. We have so much to look forward to, so much promise and potential of where we are, and so much reason for hope. But right now I'm scared. We are not powerless. We can change this trajectory of the pandemic, but it will take all of us recommitting to following the public health prevention strategies consistently while we work to get the American public vaccinated. We do not have the luxury of inaction. For the health of our country, we must work together now to prevent a fourth surge.
Okay. So let me see if I can back it up. It says I wanted to comment on, where was it? Was it right here? Nope. Where was it? Right here? Oh, no, you don't want to show. Here we go. That's what I wanted. So CV cases are on the rise, even as the number of people vaccinated increases. Okay. So again, another mixed message. Within like a 1 week time frame, you just got through telling us that 3 feet of social distance should be fine for the kids, but now you have impending doom. So again, y'all took one of your biggest advocates and even made her put a big old question mark. But here are my thoughts on this though. If they're afraid, here's what I think they're afraid of. I think they're afraid that, well, number one, they're afraid of two things, I think. They're still afraid of the original crew who from day one decided they weren't going to follow any guidelines whatsoever. So there's them that they're concerned about. I think they're concerned about all these variants. And I also think that they believe deep down in their heart, like the vaccine won't be enough, because as people are getting vaccinated, it takes time to like work, like it has to build up in your system. And one of my big concerns from day one has always been a false sense of security, meaning, okay, I got my shot. Now I'm going to go around kissing everybody in the mouth, hugging everybody in the mouth, holding hands, shaking hands, like, basically lulling you into a false sense of security when in reality, you might still be spreading it, catching it. Like, I have so many thoughts, you know what I mean? But basically what I'm trying to say is, I think she's afraid because she knows vaccine or not, Americans are not going to change their behavior. And if something more aggressive comes down the pipeline, we're not going to be able to control it because we can't control them. They have demonstrated they are a population who is not going to be controlled under any circumstances. And it doesn't matter how many people die. They're never, ever going to do the right thing under any circumstance. You see what I mean? Unless they believe it or unless their beloved leaders tell them to do so. That's dangerous. I've been telling y'all that's dangerous. But I think they just know that ultimately it's kind of like a shot in the dark. You know what I mean? It's like what is that last, when the buzzer is about to sound and they throw the ball? Is it a free throw? That's not a free throw. What's the one when you're across court? Well, I'll use football. It's like the final Hail Mary. But part of the reason the Hail Mary may not work is because of the attitudes, behaviors, and habits of the American people. So maybe that's the doom that she's feeling. These people aren't hard enough on them. They're too nice. Biden is too nice. Trump didn't care at all. He lied about it initially, then started to come around. And the CDC is too nice. Nobody will come out and chastise the American public. They make everything seem optional. It's like, do this, but only if you want to. Do this, but it's only a recommendation. See, in those other countries, they don't play. They will lock you up. They'll beat you with a baton. And y'all call that communism and socialism. But I think what we have learned is that look how the human acts when it has no discipline. You're not disciplining yourselves. So, like, wow, like the freedom experiment. Because throughout most of established society, it's always been like a kingdom or an empire, or there's always been some sort of like dictator. And they usually always don't do a very good job because that power goes straight to their heads, right? But the alternative, it basically goes like this, you guys. You go from one dictator, like in a kingdom, to millions of dictators in a democracy. Everyone becomes their own little mini dictator. And look how well that works out for us. It theoretically, it should work. But it doesn't seem to work out too well. Can't be trusted with freedom. Look what you do. But, that's a different show, different topic, different live stream. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the chat. How goes it? We're almost done. We got 2 more stories, then we're getting out of here. Thanks for joining me. So now the CDC is scared, but also telling the schools 3 feet of social distance is fine. So which is it? I don't like that. I don't like the lack of clarity. I don't like the lack of cohesion. There's a lot of things I don't like right now. Anyway, let's talk about this and one more thing and we'll get out of here, guys. YouTube, long story short, is thinking about taking away the visibility of dislikes on videos. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. We know that. We know that. Google is looking at altering a vital piece of the YouTube user interface, and it has already started testing the change on a select group of people. It says, in response to creator feedback around well-being and targeted dislike campaigns, we're testing a few new designs that don't show the public dislike count, YouTube said on Twitter. And it would look something like this, where you would only see where it says 978 thumbs up, and it just says dislike but no number. I should have done a separate video on this. I have so many thoughts on this. Videos will still show the number of likes, but the dislike count will be completely hidden. Users will still be able to dislike clips, even if the dislike count is blocked from view, and creators will still see both in the YouTube studio. It's unclear whether the dislike count will be hidden on mobile. Will be hidden on mobile and web apps or only on phones and tablets. It says the feature change isn't meant to censor a metric that can be quite helpful. The like to dislike ratio might be something that people can check out before playing a new video. Google is only looking to prevent mobs of people from targeting videos with dislike campaigns that have nothing to do with the content itself. The number of likes and dislikes directly affects a video's visibility, as Baby Algo takes these factors into account. Okay? Not going to read the rest, but I cannot tell you as a content creator how profoundly and fundamentally against this I am. As a YouTube content creator, how profoundly and fundamentally against this I am. And if they do roll it out, I pray to God that they give us the option to turn it off or on. We have that option now. So you all may have noticed, like on some videos, it already kind of looks like this, but it'll just say like and dislike. That creator has turned their likes and dislikes off. You'll also notice like some creators turn off their subscriber count, right? Listen, here's how I feel about this. YouTube and other big tech giants seem intent on creating a world full of baby children. Tender, delicate babies who cannot handle reality and cannot handle the truth. Okay? When you get your first dislike as a content creator, it hurts your little feelings. It hits you somewhere in your soul. You know, I think I had 4 videos up before I got my first dislike, and I was like, oh no. Oh no. And then, honey, you get used to it. I'll sit around on some videos or live streams and I'm like, no dislikes yet? Where are they? Wait a couple hours. I'm like, there they are. Okay, they're still getting the videos. Good. Good. You know what I mean? It tells me as a creator, and again, we'll still see it, but here's the thing, like, I feel like you have to be able to like stand in it. You know what I mean? I have videos on this channel that are almost ratioed. And for those who don't know what ratioing is, it's like where you have more dislikes than comments or more dislikes than views or something. I forget the exact term, but basically it's off, basically. Like you got way more dislikes than you even have views or something like that on that video. But I just think that it's truth. It's reality. Like I know for a fact I have 1 or 2 people who make it their life's mission to dislike every video I put out. And that's fine. And the way that I know it's them is they usually dislike it within the first few minutes. And the video will be 20 minutes long. I'm like, this video hasn't even been out for 30 seconds and I already got a dislike. Okay, good. They're still getting pushed out. They're still getting pushed out. Good. You know, I miss them when they're gone. Where are you? You're not interested anymore? Come back and dislike. Anyway, my point is, like, it's a false sense of reality. You go to a video, you see 978 likes, and you're like, oh, people must like this. But what you don't see are 722 dislikes, meaning the majority of people weren't feeling it or didn't like it, or there was something about it that they didn't like. You know what I mean? It makes it seem like all content creators are great. We're all great. We don't make any mistakes. People like everything that we do. We never get a dislike ever. And what a false, fake presentation. That's so phony to me. That's phony. To only show your likes but not your dislikes, that's phony. You can't handle a dislike? Come on, man. You got to have thicker skin than that if you're going to be out here in these streets. You have to have thicker skin than that. But more than that, though, it's creating a world where we're not allowed to tell the truth about how we feel about things. I don't like this. I want people to know that. You'll only show the likes to make it seem like every video is great. And this is how they're becoming, you guys. They are washing away our humanity one feature at a time. And this is one of the ways that they're doing it. You go on a creator's page, you look at all their videos, it's like, dang, well, all their videos got pretty high likes. I guess, okay, well, let me watch, you know? And you watch it and you're like, dang, I don't really like this, but everyone seems to like it. No, everyone doesn't seem to like it. What you don't see are the 698 dislikes or the 1,100 dislikes. Like, this has got to stop. Like, listen, I'm a huge advocate for protecting the human, being good to people, not being unnecessarily abrupt, abrasive, rude, crude, not mistreating the human. No, we don't do that. But you still need to tell the truth. If it sucks, it sucks. Period. That's just what it is. Like, that's the reality of being a content creator. Or if I disagree, you know what I mean? Why don't you all open up the options? So why don't you have like and dislike, agree, disagree? There you go. There's another layer of feedback. Or here's a tech request. And this is really for the creators, but I think for the viewers too. Why don't you make it to where if you dislike a video, give us the option or give viewers the option of telling us why. In 100 characters or less, be like, would you like to send the creator feedback? Yes. Yes, I would. As a matter of fact, please fix your smoke detector for the love of God. Thank you. Dislike, send. So at least they can know the reason I disliked your video is because you refuse to fix your smoke detector. That's why I dislike your video, because you act like we're supposed to sit here and ignore that and ignore, like, your content is so compelling that we can focus through a smoke detector. We can't. Please fix it. Send, dislike, send. So at minimum, people can know why you're disliking a video. Now, that's not going to stop them from sending rude comments. I just don't like you. I think you're a stupid bee. Send. Perfect. Great. Say it with your chest. At least I know that your dislike is not based on anything real or in the video. You just don't like me. That's fine. Versus disliked because you did not flesh this idea out very well, or disliked because you have a poor understanding of blank and you're presenting it as blank, disliked because you didn't consider this viewpoint. You see what I mean? Something to tell us why you disliked it so we can make adjustments for those who are open to feedback. Because I'm telling you, all content creators are not. And it is ultimately the death of them, really. Like, if I didn't take feedback, I mean, surely I think we could grow beyond here. But I feel like if I wasn't able to take feedback, I'd still be hovering, right around 500, probably maybe 1,000, maybe. But like we've discussed before, my primary critic is me. So I go back, I watch my videos, I cringe, I curse my computer, I curse my technology skills. And then I fix them until I'm satisfied. So I'm my biggest critic. You know what I mean? But a lot of people aren't like that. And this is proving it. Taking away the dislike so their little sensitive souls are not embarrassed publicly. Honey, don't get on YouTube if you're worried about being embarrassed publicly. It's a simple solution, but it's character building. You understand? It really is. And it's valuable feedback. Like, I really know when you guys don't like something. But anyway, this goes to the infantilization of the world, but tech is doing it, and tech is doing it bad, man. And they're doing it in other ways too. For example, I'll give you a perfect example. Google changed their whole suite, the icons on their suite. So the icons, let me see if I can, I'm scared to click that. I won't click that. But you have like Google Drive, Gmail, Docs, Sheets, Google Slides, Hangouts, and each and every single one of those things has an icon associated with it, right? Well, for a long time, it had a very nice, like, mature look to it. Like, it looked like good. I liked it. It looked techie. Well, they've changed all those icons to these colorful, looks like they belong in a nursery, bubble style icons. And I'm like, they are determined to make everything preschool and playground for us. Why? Now you're starting to tiptoe me over into my other theories now. Why are you trying to make us all child-like in the mind? Everything's a fantasy world. Everything is Candyland. Don't tell me bad things. That makes you a bad man. Don't make my icons too harsh. That makes me feel like an adult. I like my icons bubbly. Yes, that'll work. Please don't say you dislike me. That'll hurt my feelings. Don't you know that I am free? Please be nice to me. I'm serious, you guys. So some of you might be, I don't even want to say that. I don't want to get in trouble. I'll just say this. There is a sales management software that is incredibly popular. You can get certified in it. It's incredibly complex. It's big. It's robust. It has a lot of arms on it, and a lot of different companies use it. Okay. And all I'm going to say is, yes, they're Fisher Price icons. Yes. Thank you. That's what they are. They're Fisher Price icons. That's what it is. Very Fisher Price. Why do you want us all in a Fisher Price energy? Why is that? I'm very curious now. But anyway, this sales management software, Their whole everything, branding, logo, everything is like a bubbly, fun, like kitty style, like mascot writing. And I'm like, when do you people ever grow up? You just never let go of childhood. It was that great. Like, I loved my childhood, but I don't want my childhood reflected in everything that I do. At some point, I want to feel like an adult. I want my adult things to look like adult things, and I want children's things to look like children's things. But everything has been converted into Fisher Price or Sesame Street. Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. I think they're so ugly. The new Google icons, I hate looking at them. Like, I try not to even look at them. And I know that sounds extreme, but like my eyes don't like them. Like my eyes, like for example, on the Drive logo, my eyes just keep riding the colors. My eyes go yellow, green, blue, red, yellow, green, blue. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't look at this. Okay. But everything has gone super preschool, super play school, super Fisher Price. And I cannot stand it, you guys. And to me, this is part of it. Now we're going to hide the dislikes to protect our feelings. I'm like, do you see what they call us in the comments sometimes? You're worried about protecting feelings. Do you see what we get called in the comments? Threatened? I'm not worried about a dislike. I'm worried about some of the nuts that you guys have on your platform that we have no protections for. Like, there's no safety for us really in terms of like, if there was a real issue, I don't know that I could route it through YouTube and receive some sort of safety from YouTube as a platform. Like at most, they would probably block and delete the account. Well, whoop-de-doo. What did that do? Nothing. They're just going to go set up a new account. You see what I mean? So there's no protection for us. That's the kind of things that we worry about. I'm not worried about a dislike. If you're sensitive about a dislike, don't publish your work on YouTube. This is a very critical industry. So to resolve that and remediate that, you have to be your own worst critic. Your own worst critic and your own best cheerleader is the only way you can do it. Only way. Okay. So let's move on to our last story. It's a long news break tonight. We had a lot of stories. Welcome, everybody. Yes. And the censoring as well. Yes. Okay. Y'all, we've talked about these pranks. This is going to be the story that closes us out for the night. Okay. We talked about these pranks and how I feel about these pranks before. And I think this is a perfect example of what I mean. Mom told daughter she'd been shot as an April Fool's Day joke, and it did not end well. Armed police swarmed the woman's home in Wichita, Kansas. She was arrested on suspicion of unlawful requests for emergency service assistance. Goofy. Goof. Idiot. Wichita police were not laughing Thursday after a woman called her daughter and said she had been shot in what was supposed to be an April Fool's Day prank. The mother, Arnethia Willis, 58, was arrested Thursday on suspicion of unlawful request for emergency service assistance. Willis's daughter notified 911 after her mother called her and said she'd been shot and then hung up. Multiple police units, probably between 50 and 20 officers from the Wichita Police Department, as well as fire department and EMS, responded to the scene. When no one responded at the home in Northeast Wichita, officers wearing shields and with guns drawn broke down the door. Hunt said the mother was at work and called her daughter as a prank. Willis was arrested in Derby, a Wichita suburb. April Fools can be a good, funny little joke in some circumstances, but when it leads to a police response, it's not funny anymore, he said. Now, you really have to wonder about the person, the mindset of a woman who, in America, mind you, would call her daughter, her child, and most children, you know, we're always concerned about our parents' well-being, you know, those of us who love our parents, I guess, or like them at minimum, I guess. But anyway, you know, we're always concerned about, you know, are they okay? They're doing well, whatever. So you call the daughter, who probably worries about you day and night anyway, told her you've been shot, hang up the phone. And the daughter, I guess she doesn't live in Wichita. She must live somewhere else. But the daughter did what anybody would do, I imagine, and called the police. Police got sent to the house. The mom wasn't even there. She was at work. And they went and arrested you, and good. Good. Because you really have to wonder about your judgment. Yeah, especially in this day and age. Exactly. Like, literally, people are getting shot every day all over the place in the most random places, like places you would never even expect. So it wouldn't be an unusual phone call to get that phone call from somebody that you know. That wouldn't be unusual. Like, I don't think anybody would think that would be a joke living in America. You know what I mean? So it also makes me, just from a narcissism standpoint, wonder, like, what else has this mother thought was so funny over the years that she subjected her daughter to, or her other children, or whomever? And then when it turned out to not be so funny or even dangerous, her excuse was, oh, I was just messing with you. Can't you take a joke? You know what I mean? Oh, you're so sensitive. You can't take a joke. You know what I mean? Like, people like that. It's like they're trying to mask their evil behavior under pranks. They're trying to hide it underneath a prank. You see what I mean? Yeah, April Fool's on her damn self. Exactly. Attention-seeking, narcissistic mother. Exactly. I agree with you 100%. 100%. Like, that's not funny. Like, and I can just picture the way she hung up the phone, with probably just sitting there, just doubled over her desk, just laughing. Her daughter's in a panic. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, like like probably trying to check the news, calling around, like thinking it's so funny. And now you're sitting in jail where you deserve to be, and your front door is busted down. I didn't know the cops would do that. I didn't know they'd bust your door down if they think you're in there hurt. So let this be a lesson, hopefully, to all the pranksters out there. Your jokes aren't funny. And people aren't really entertained over these past 2 years. You feel me? Like 2020, 2021. As a matter of fact, Google canceled, they do like an April Fool's Day joke every year. They canceled it last year, and they canceled it this year also, because nobody's laughing. Nobody's having well, I'm sure some of you are enjoying life. Okay. What I mean is, the general mood right now is not funny. Not funny. Like, people I don't think are in the mood to be tricked, is what I'm saying. Like, when everything's going well, the economy's flowing, people are relatively healthy, there's no pandemic, you know what I mean? Like, we don't have a psychotic president in office, things of that nature. When things are flowing relatively well, you can take a joke because life itself hasn't been a joke. But when life itself starts to become the joke, you don't need any additional jokes. You really don't. Okay? So with that, you guys, oh, I'm so happy. It says your channel makes me happy and laugh. Good, 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 good. That's part of the goal of this channel. Give you guys somewhere to come, and even if it's for a little while, have somewhere to laugh, rest, learn, and strategize, darling. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out the news break. I didn't plan on being here this long, so I'm not going to do my second show tonight, but I'll probably do that tomorrow, okay? And with that, you guys, I hope you enjoy your weekend. Be careful out here. Be safe, all right? And we will talk again very, very, very soon. All right? Take care. Bye.